We have the Snyder Cut. You know what else we have? A dead
No.
dick. Welcome into issue 6 of Comic Cast Video. Jong Lee here.
Hey, with Michael Carroll.
Thank you guys for tuning in, and today we're going to be talking about a little bit of a announcement that Zack Snyder made over Vero, and we're going to go over what was announced yesterday, what DC is going to be doing in August. But Zack Snyder apparently stirred up some, I guess, controversy, you would say. Somebody asked him on Vero who the dead Robin was in Justice League, and they assumed it was Jason Todd. Well, I think everybody assumed it was Jason Todd. And he threw us a curveball and said, nope, Dick Grayson. What is your take on a dead Dick Grayson?
Well, I think we had heard this before, that Dick Grayson was the dead Robin in Batman vs. Superman. But, like, this is another confirmation from him. And then, I mean, starting off with just that, like, I don't love that idea. I always thought, like, when DC was building this world, that we would see a Dick Grayson at some point. We would see all these different characters that, we had seen in comics and other medium. And then the fact that we'll just never, it was like, oh, he's dead. Like, wow, no love for Dick Grayson? Come on, he's like one of the best characters. At least personally, I like Dick Grayson.
Yeah, Dick Grayson, Nightwing may be one of my favorite, like, under the radar DC heroes, and you threw us a curveball by saying, no, that's Dick. And this is what he does. This is what Zack Snyder does. He likes to think that he's smarter than everybody else. And, I mean, he did it with Watchmen, where he changed the ending and people kind of lost it. He did it with Batman vs. Superman. And he did it with Justice League, thinking that he was smarter than everybody else. And this is just another one of those examples where he just said, no, I'm going to go against the grain, and I'm going to kill Dick Grayson instead of Jason Todd, which we have not gotten any glimpse of those two inside the DC Extended Universe. And killing off Dick Grayson before it is even established, I think, is such a ginormous mistake, because he is one of the better characters in that universe.
Oh, yeah, he's a great character that we just haven't had time to spend with at all. And again, when DC was starting to build this world, initially with Man of Steel, and then obviously going into Batman vs. Superman and everything, I thought eventually we would get all these different characters to kind of flesh out the world. But then some characters are just dead already. Like, it was very frustrating. And then it just felt weird to me that you tried to adopt the Red Hood story arc, you would go with Dick Grayson at that point. Is that what you would be saying? Like, I don't know. I feel like that would be a miss all the way around.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what he is going to do. Like, like you said, do you bring Dick Grayson as Red Hood, which seems a little weird to me.
Yeah.
That would piss me off if you did that. And if that's the case, what do you do with Jason Todd? Do you not even introduce him at all? Like, he's starting to convolute a lot of stuff where if you follow the source material, you don't necessarily have to do all that much work in terms of, like, writing the characters. I mean, you can change things here and there, but I think he's just trying to outsmart everybody and tries to be this visionary that he thinks and his Snyder Cut fans think that he is. The source material is so good. Don't venture too much off of it. Like, you can change stuff that, it may be too much for a film universe, but other than that, you can just stick to what was already presented to you.
Yeah, so I just found something from 2018 where on Vero, he said Richard, and I guess in reference to someone asking him about if he was dead or not. And then someone asked him, was there a plan to bring back Richard after Flashpoint, or was Richard Dick Grayson always meant to stay dead? Curious, please see this question. He said, stay dead till Carrie. Carrie, in reference to Carrie Kelly, who was the female Robin in the comics at some point. But it was like, wow, we're just skipping over Dick Grayson completely, skipping over Jason Todd. Like, I mean, I guess it's a different way to approach it, bring a character that I honestly don't have too much familiarity with in Carrie Kelly. But, like, Dick Grayson is like a classic character that I feel like you have to at least acknowledge in some capacity. Like, it's just very frustrating.
Yeah, other than the fact that his armor is up there and it's just like Joker, we get, hints that Joker killed him. And there was like a piece and I've never realized this, but there's a piece between like right below the waist and in
Mhm.
like before his kneecaps, there's a big giant space missing. And I was just like, what happened there? Did he like get his dick chopped off? Like, what happened there? And I've seen a bunch of jokes on Twitter since the comments on Vero, but that's besides the point. But you're right. It's just a mistake to just completely skip over Dick Grayson and get to where you kind of want to get to, and skip over all the Bat Family, I guess, legacy, you would say. And I think it's just a bad move.
It's frustrating just because it's a character that I wanted to see on the big screen in some capacity. And Nightwing, specifically that version of Dick Grayson, I wanted to see on screen. And if we had kept going with Zack Snyder's DCEU, we probably wouldn't have gotten it. Obviously, now like the DCEU is in a different place and a different connection. So I think the door is definitely open now for Dick Grayson to come back. But in his world, it's just really weird. And the other thing too is someone asked, "Did you have plans to dive deeper into the background of Dick's death in your future movies? Maybe JL?" And he said, "A hint in JL." So I imagine once we get the Snyder cut, we'll get some hint as to how he died or what happened around that. But again, it's like I feel like that's going to take away focus from the overall goal of Justice League, which is to tell the story about Darkseid and all these different things. And I feel like that's not the movie to like hint for Robin's death. I don't know. Like I feel like that should be for a Batman movie.
Yeah, and when you say hint though, like I feel like when he says hint, it's just gonna be one quick flashback sequence. And yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's a good
mean
point.
with Zack Snyder, he did do a lot of, I guess, dream sequences and whatnot, looking into the future. And I feel like if you were to revisit Dick Grayson's death, it'd be very quick and it'd be like a flashback, which kind of does a disservice to the character. And I'm a little disappointed that that's not Jason Todd up there instead of Dick Grayson. But what you gonna do? I mean, Warner Brothers kind of gave him the key, I guess, re-gave him the key after he was, I guess, in timeout. He was grounded for a little bit, and then this ground movement came and overwhelmed Warner Brothers, and now, and I bought into the whole thing of, oh yeah, let's see what this is gonna be like, and then him acting a fool again on Vero, saying just, yeah, no, that's Dick Grayson, not Jason Todd. I know a bunch of Snyder Cut fans are gonna defend him to the ends of the earth, but I feel like this is such a bad move.
It sucks we have a dead Dick
Yeah,
on our
yeah.
hands.
In other DC news, though, they announced on Tuesday that their Warner Brothers is going to be launching DC Fandome, and it's going to be taking place on August 22nd, 12 p.m. Houston time, 10 p.m. Pacific time, and they're going to be. It's kind of like their Comic-Con. They're going to be announcing a bunch of stuff. Suicide Squad revealed another logo, which is kind of cool. I would hope that we expect some kind of new footage from Wonder Woman. Maybe we'll get some kind of first look at Suicide Squad, and we'll get a bunch of new stuff from the TV shows and all that. And it's going to be very exciting. And does this possibly mean that they're going to be skipping out on Comic-Con, do you think?
I think so. I mean, it reminds me of like Sony doing its own thing separate from E3. So I feel like they may have stuff to show at Comic Con, the virtual Comic Con of this year. But I would imagine they're going to save their best stuff for this big event, this worldwide global event. I think they're pushing hard, and the list of movies that and series that they have in the email that I got this morning about it. They listed Aquaman, the Batman, Batwoman, Black Adam, Black Lightning, DC Superhero Girls, DC Legends of Tomorrow, DC Stargirl, Doom Patrol, The Flash, Harley Quinn, the Snyder Cut of Justice League, Lucifer, Pennyworth, Shazam, The Suicide Squad, Supergirl, Superman and Lois, Teen Titans Go, Titans, Watchmen, Young Justice, Outsiders, and Wonder Woman 1984. So expect to see stars in all aspects when it comes to this DC fandom event.
Yeah, and I would want you guys to temper your expectations just a little bit when you're saying like Aquaman, which hasn't even gone into production, or I don't even know if there's a script for Aquaman 2. And when you're talking about Shazam, like expect maybe like updates, or expect maybe Jason Momoa like maybe giving a video just talking about, hey, I'm excited to start Aquaman again in the near future, blah blah blah. But with stuff like the Batman, we may get set photos, or we may get maybe a brief clip. And Wonder Woman 1984, I would expect to maybe get a featurette about of some sort, because that's about to come out not too long after Fandome. And things like Suicide Squad, which is maybe getting wrapped up. Maybe you see a unpolished cut of the actors in action and that kind of thing. So when you're looking and going through the list of things and shows and stars that are going to be there, just take it in context with what their shooting schedule is like and where they are in production, and then kind of expect, oh yeah, this is almost done, or this is already completed. We should see more extended clips from this thing, or maybe we get a first look at this thing.
Yeah, don't expect like I'm not expecting a trailer for like the Batman. I'm not expecting a trailer for the Suicide Squad. Maybe they'll shock me and show something, but I just can't imagine that with everything kind of in flux that they'll have a tremendous amount in terms of that. I think it'll be more so announcements and just general behind the scenes discussions of how they did stuff or how they're going to do stuff, or just general ideas for the audience. There is like on their email about it, there's what is it, 5 verses. There's the DC Watch verse, DC U verse, DC Kids verse, DC Insider verse, and DC Fun verse. Basically, different aspects highlighting different things about this event. So, like DC Fun verse, I guess it's a stream that you would tap into where it's talking more about like do it yourself. Like they give an example of do it yourself Wonder Woman 1984 Golden Armor and Batmobile kits. Obviously, the kids versus focus more on kids stuff. So it's like I guess these different angles will give audiences for whatever they're looking for, cosplay, just different things. It seems like a cool event with these multiple like verses.
And this is from entertainmentweekly.com, EW.com, and they addressed how will all of this be organized, you asked? Well, according to the press release, Michael read a little bit of it, there will be 6 different fully programmed areas inside the virtual DC Fandome. And Michael kind of laid out everything. There's going to be a bunch of panels, reveals, special programming, and Hall of Heroes, which you'll be able to, I guess, view everything from your laptop or computer at home. Which, I mean, I guess you if you don't get to go to these things on a regular basis, you have the benefit of, oh my God, you get to see all of this stuff. But if you usually go to these things in person, I guess it may be a letdown, but it will supplement, your fix for something that you're not able to do this year.
I think it also opens the door because like this year obviously is a wash for most events because we can't because of COVID. But I think this is the year where companies, not just DC, but a lot of companies are going to try the virtual things to see how they work, because I think this may be the future to open the door to like, we can have people actually attend, but maybe we can charge people to actually watch the event, maybe pay a $5 to watch a stream or something like that. And right now it's free because obviously no one can attend and it's like a good faith kind of thing. But I could see them maybe expanding it in future years to being more like, I don't want to say pay-per-view event, but like something to where not just people out there can do it. Although that may hinder your live attendance because it's like, why would I go when I can just watch it? So there's got to push like give and take there. Maybe you get more stuff if you go out there, but you can watch a basic stream. And this is the year to test all those theories out.
Yeah, and EW.com is also saying that the broadcast is going to be in 10 different languages as well. Brazilian, Portuguese, Chinese, English, French, German, Italian, Japanese, Korean, and Spanish, and will feature content for specific countries too. So if you guys are in other countries, you're gonna get your country-specific content, which would be very, very cool. Like, I don't know exactly what that's going to be like. Maybe they have, maybe Netflix in other countries have rights to DC shows that other people don't, and maybe Netflix is going to be there and they present, oh, this is going to come to the spring of 2021 on Netflix. They present it. I mean, maybe something like that. But like for the overall big news, I would think that it'll be all simulcasted in different languages and broadcasted out in all those countries.
Yeah, they made a point in the email this morning to mention about localized events and localized content. So, I mean, that's really a cool thing to do, to offer it in that many languages. Like the more people that get to enjoy this, I think is the better. And they're really, I think, really going to push this to be a big event for them.
Yeah, it's going to be August 22nd, and it's going to take place noon Houston time, 10 a.m. Pacific, and I guess 1 p.m. Eastern time, and it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna feature almost everything that you are gonna want from DC in terms of movies, comics, TV, everything. So definitely check that out. It's gonna be an amazing event, and I would assume like all the big stars are gonna be there as well, either via I guess a Zoom meeting, whatever they're going to be using, or maybe in person where they have only a couple people where they are. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to this because DC on the last couple of years have been on an uptick, and I'm really excited to see new clips and maybe even a trailer from Suicide Squad. So August 22nd, mark your calendars. If you guys are in Houston and you're watching this, it's noon our time.
And it's cool, again, going back to like not being able necessarily to go to like a Comic-Con or anything like that. Like I haven't gone to a big event outside of Comic Palooza here in Houston. So to be able to see like this event or San Diego Comic-Con virtually, like I'm genuinely kind of excited about it. So I think I'll be planning to tune in. Will you be watching on August 22nd?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to. If I can get away from schoolwork, I'll definitely check it out. If not, I'll catch some recaps on YouTube, or I'll read about it on Twitter and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely be taking in a lot of what they're gonna be doing and presenting.
Yeah, definitely. Me too.
Yeah, and thank you guys for tuning into issue number 6 of ComicCast Video. And you can follow us on Twitter. I'm at my name Jong.
I'm at producer Mike 975.
And you can catch our audio version of our podcast, ComicCast, on all major podcast platforms. And if you haven't already and you like what we're doing here on YouTube, click that bell.
Slap that bell. It's like
ding,
down
ding,
here
ding,
somewhere.
Ding. And subscribe. Yes, it's down there somewhere.
Just look down. It's like it's easy.
Until next time.
See ya.